Next on the news, Pope Francis has kicked off the longest trip of his pontificate, the journey through Asia, sparking hope in the continent and beyond.
I'm not over there, I'm in Indonesia right now, I'm in New York, but the hype.
Hundreds of Queen's students prepare for their high school careers by getting closer to Christ. The first day of classes at one Brooklyn Catholic Academy won't mean back to the same old school.
The students at Saviour Catholic Academy will have a lot to look forward to this new school year, including plans for a possible new play space. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, thousands traveled upstate this Labor Day weekend to take part in a charismatic Catholic renewal. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. Pope Francis touches down in Indonesia, officially starting his longest trip as pontiff. Between his momentous meetings with authorities to his memorable one-on-one interactions with the people, the Holy Father's journey in Asia and Oceania is expected to be a life-changing event for all. Two priests serving in the Diocese of Brooklyn understand that firsthand, since a past visit by a pope to the country helped them in their vocations. Currents News' Jessica Easthope has that story.
The Holy Father, touching down in Jakarta, marked the third pope to visit Indonesia. The last visit was St. John Paul II in 1989. Father Aloysius Albert wasn't even born yet, but his parents and church community told stories that inspired him.
The histories there, it was so beautiful. Our ancestor, the story of our parents, that helped me a lot. Especially in my way of my vocation.
Father Albert, a priest on temporary assignment in the Diocese of Brooklyn at St. Joseph, patron of the Universal Church in Bushwick, says the Pope's trip could be the spark in other young Catholics.
I think it's better for the inspiration for the young, even they want to join in the congregation, also to become a priest.
While in Indonesia, Pope Francis will explore the relationship between the Catholic minority and the Muslim majority. Catholics make up just 3% of the population.
I'm not over there, I'm in Indonesia right now, I'm in New York, but the hype, I feel the people, they're really happy.
Pierre Temboon is the president of the Diocese of Brooklyn's Indonesian Apostolate. He says interfaith relations in Indonesia serves as a global example of how to live together peacefully.
I went to the mosque too. I pray with the Muslims, so everything. So because of the society and everybody, so it's normal. For them, and then they went to church to celebrate with us in that small village. It's normal for us, so it's just unity.
The relations between Catholic and Muslim in Indonesia quite harmonious. We living together in harmony and tolerance and high tolerance.
Father Paul Rahmat, a temporary priest assigned to Queen of Angels Church in Sunnyside, was a seminarian when St. John Paul II came to visit. He remembers the excitement to this day.
I was a student at that time, a seminarian, and I sang in the choir. My personal experience was very excited.
These men say Pope Francis is a unifying figure for people everywhere.
Pope Francis is not only like the leader of the Catholic, but also the message for the humanity, the message also for the peace for whole the world.
And they can feel it, they can experience it. Maybe they're gonna feel difference. They can feel the calling too.
Their hope is the Holy Father leaves Indonesia with a deeper appreciation for interfaith relations and what can be possible all over the world. In Bushwick, Jessica Easthope, Currents News.
While Pope Francis was traveling on Labor Day, Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan was praying with parade goers. Bishop Brennan celebrated Mass at St. Matthew Church, which is located on Brooklyn's Eastern Parkway, right along the West Indian Day parade route. Every year, the parish celebrates Mass before joining the parade. Bishop Brennan also supported some athletes over the weekend. The shepherd of the Diocese of Brooklyn celebrated Mass for the Catholic Youth Organization, or CYO, at the Church of St. Francis de Sales in Bell Harbor. Brooklyn's CYO program focuses on the athlete, not the sport, promoting participation and sportsmanship. The kids were invited to wear their uniforms to the Mass and took part in a pancake breakfast after. Labor Day marks the end of summer for students across the nation, and thousands of college freshmen are already getting started at St. John's University after a busy move-in weekend. Around 2,600 students arrived at the Jamaica Queens campus, marking 25 years since the residence halls first opened there. The incoming freshman class comes from 44 states and 43 different countries. Ahead of their first day of class, hundreds of new high schoolers in Queens started to build the most important relationship they'll have over the next 4 years, not with each other, but with Christ.
When I say saint, you say and saint, saint, saint.
430 Archbishop Molloy freshmen gathered last Thursday for a one-day retreat. Over the summer, upperclassmen were trained on how to run the retreat alongside the school's campus ministry. The day's activities were based on the 5 pillars of Marist identity: presence, simplicity, family spirit, love of work, and in the way of Mary.
They have a little bit of an experience of what would this pillar look like on display coming to life here at Molloy.
The pillars are very faith-led. Pretty much for each of the 5 pillars we picked an activity to kind of represent that.
So one of them was presence, where we had to wear a blindfold, and then and the other person would have to guide us through a maze. They really just told us that we're going to get closer to God.
The new Archbishop Molloy Stanners, which comes from the school's former name, St. Anne Academy, will start school on September 4th. As dozens of students across the diocese prepare for their first day of classes on Wednesday, one Brooklyn school is kicking off the new year with some big changes. St. Saviour Catholic Academy is working under a new education model, and the school's leadership has some big plans ahead. Current News' Katie Vasquez has more from Park Slope.
What kinds of things are you kind of planning for day one?
School may start on September 4th for students at St. Saviour Catholic Academy, but for staff, preparation has been going on for much longer.
A lot of time with them. Yeah.
And new principal, Mr. Matt Artigas, is leading the way.
I've actually never attended a public school. It's been Catholic school, kindergarten, all the way through my doctoral program. So Catholic education is very important to me and near and dear to my heart.
His new role is one of the changes happening at the Park Slope Academy ahead of the new year. Recently, St. Saviour switched to a new model of education that, along with a principal, involves a school president rather than an assistant principal. Dean Fusto is filling that role, taking on outreach and enrollment efforts.
The principal has an incredible amount on their plate. It's constant, and we want to be able to make sure that he or she's always focusing on the kids, on the program, on the curriculum, and all those pieces.
Another new addition are plans for a 4,000 square foot rooftop play space. So what are you planning to put over here?
If I'm not mistaken, this is the garden area.
The project has been in the works since 2017. St. Saviour so far has raised $2 million for it and still needs a little more fundraising to meet their goal. Some of their plans include a basketball hoop, room to play soccer, and a classroom.
For those who want to do something, reading during their break rather than running around.
St. Saviour is also talking about using the space as part of their curriculum.
The possibilities are endless, and we're very excited to have that project get off the ground.
Inspires creativity. It lets you move around. It's truly free time and recess time, which is just a critical part for kids.
The school aims to start construction on the play space in June 2025. In Park Slope, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
Be sure to stay with Currents News for your back-to-school coverage. Katie Vasquez will be with Bishop Robert Brennan as he welcomes students to a new year of learning, fun, and faith. That will be Wednesday, September 4th, right here on Currents News. Finally tonight, thousands of faithful from the Diocese of Brooklyn went to Stony Point on Sunday to take part in a Catholic charismatic renewal. Bishop Brennan joined the annual gathering of the diocese's Hispanic Catholics as more than 3,200 people from more than 50 different parishes traveled to the Marian Shrine upstate. The day featured music, a youth rally, and mass, but Bishop Brennan was most excited to just spend a day with his flock. That is this Currents News Update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Hope to see you again next time.